Welcome to the I Can Do TV show. I created this program to bring awareness to people about a workout alternative. There are many different workout programs available. However, most of them are aimed at the younger adult. The I Can Do program is geared toward the mature adult who understands the benefits of staying active, but isn't necessarily into the idea of the fast-paced Zumba or aerobics, or interested in spending hours walking on a treadmill or sitting on a stationary bike. The I Can Do program will teach you how to use the walking cane as a tool for exercise and self-defense. The program will also introduce you to new ways of dealing with limiting thoughts, thus helping you to stay motivated to continue working out, which will enable you to maintain a great quality of life. While the I Can Do TV show is a great start, it isn't a replacement for quality instruction from a certified instructor. Now, let's get started. I want to quickly cover with you what we're going to do with the cane at points when we're not using the cane for exercises. And you would also use this at times whether you're in the store, even around the home, when you need both hands for doing something, but you want to keep your cane close to you. Your first choice is hooking your cane in your pocket, or hooking it in your waistband or your belt. And the reason for this is because if something does happen, and someone starts coming for you, you can grab for the cane immediately and be ready to deal with them. But at the same time, when you need your hands free, they're free. Think of it as the old West-style kind of quick draw of the pistol. It's the quick draw for your cane.
We're filming today on location at the beautiful Friendship Gardens in San Jose. We wanted to start bringing you some beautiful nature in our episodes. So enjoy the nature and let's get working out. Now we're going to deepen the wrist stretch. We're going to do the single-handed cane rotations. You're going to grab your cane in a mid-shaft grip. So you're grabbing about halfway in the cane. You're going to take your hand and you're going to go from either palm up to palm down, or if you're starting with your palm already down to palm up. You're going to support under the wrist and you're just going to go back and forth. The idea is, again, to warm up the tendons and the ligaments and the muscles involved in the forearm and the movement of the wrist. Now from there, first off, do not do it necessarily fast. Go at a nice, slow, and comfortable pace. From there, you're going to move your hand back behind your elbow and you're going to open up the turn a little bit more, going deeper into the turn, but allow these three fingers to relax. And you're only holding on with the index finger and the thumb. Okay? The idea is you're now at a point where you can start to deepen the stretch. Now from there, you're going to move your hand to your chest, and now you're going to go full range of motion. Okay? Do this a few times. And now go ahead and change hands. Doing it again a few times. Now, again, I want to bring up if you're working with an injury, modify as you need. If you find this is too intense for the injury, you feel it's aggravating the injury, it's okay to back off. Either not go full rotation, just go in half rotation works fine too. All right? Now move your hand back behind the elbow if you have not already. And then finally, move your hand to your chest, full range of motion. Okay? And I do want to stress, you don't want to do the last two sections with a death grip. You want to have these three fingers relaxed. Otherwise, you do run the risk of overstraining your ligaments and tendons in your wrist. All right, shake your wrists out. Now we're going to do the cat stretch. Now in yoga, if you've ever done yoga or seen yoga, that's where you're on all fours and you're arching your back like a cat. But don't worry, I'm not going to have you get down on all fours today. What we're going to do is we're going to modify it. You're going to grab with both hands in a mid-shaft grip, okay? And then you're going to push your arms forward and then push your back, keeping your hips essentially in place. You should feel the stretch in here. So you notice how, if you look at it, he looks almost like the cat, the angry cat, arching its back. Okay, so he's stretching the lombard area of the back. The areas that helps your shoulder blades stay back, well, that's the area he's stretching. Now, to deepen the stretch, take a big, deep breath in, but focus on moving the back. Don't breathe with the chest, breathe with the back. Let the air out slowly. Do that a couple more times. Okay, now if you find that you carry tension in your shoulders, this is a great stretch to help you release that tension, the tightness in the shoulders. And then gently release, shake it out. All right, so now we're going to warm up our core by doing our ever famous, ever favorite twists. Now we're going to modify it though, because we have received some feedback from people about feeling it a little bit in their knees. And so what we're going to have Bob do is he's going to pick his foot up as he turns through, and he's going to put his toe on the ground. So he's still practicing getting the full range of motion, but he's not digging the ball of his foot into the ground. Less wear and tear on the knees this way. All right? Now, if you don't have a problem with your knees, then go ahead and just do it the way that we've done it before. Now remember though, it is important to turn the hip all the way through. It protects the spine. Now there are some experts out there who encourage you to keep your feet in place, but that's because they're working on increasing the range of motion in the spinal column itself. And they're there with their customers to make sure the customer is doing it right and not injuring their spine. If you don't have an expert with you, then you run the risk of injuring your spine if you keep your feet planted. So you really do want to rotate the feet. All right, now go ahead and shake it out. We're now going to stretch the abductors, the inside, our inner thighs, okay? In a lot of martial arts movies, you see these guys like Jean-Claude Van Damme who can do the full-on splits. I'm not going to make you do that today, but I am going to show you a stretch that will help stretch out that area. So I'm going to have Bob step to a straddle position. So you want to go way wider than your shoulders width. You want to go to the point where you start to feel some resistance, but that's not the stretch yet. You're going to take your cane, put it behind your back, and put your arms over your cane. Okay? Then I want you to squeeze, almost like you're trying to pull your legs in. Squeeze all your legs, like you're trying to squeeze something really tight. Hold it, hold it, hold it a little longer. Now you're going to immediately relax and just turn your shoulders and your hips while keeping your feet in place. Okay, now it's important to make note that you want to make sure your feet are on the same line. They're parallel to each other. Now you're going to twist, as you see Bob twisted one side, then the other. Now he's going to twist again. And you hold it for like a 2 or 3 count. 1 and 2 and 3 and change. 1 and 2 and 3 and change. Now we're going to do it again. So squeeze everything. Squeeze, hold, hold. You should feel your legs quivering. You're squeezing so hard. And release and turn. You should feel it at the turn, you should feel it on the front of your thigh. It's getting your hip flexors, okay, as well as helping to stretch the groin, okay? And go ahead and change sides. Now go ahead, stand up, slowly, shake it out. We're going to now stretch the chest and the front of the shoulders. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take the cane behind you, bring your hands as close together as you can. Now in the beginning you may find this is as close as you can go, or you may be able to go all the way. You're going to pull the shoulders back, okay? Back fully and completely. this already should start to open up and feel the stretch in your chest. Then once your shoulders are back, you're going to straighten your arms. You're going to push your arms down, deepening the stretch. Now remember, we do everything in stages. So if just pulling the shoulders back is an intense stretch for you, stay there. All right? If straightening the arms is an intense stretch, stay there. But if you want to go deeper, then from after you straighten the arms, you lift the arms. Now if you have a partner at home to help you, you can have them deepen the stretch by helping to raise your arms as well, as Bob starts to try and pull down on the cane because he's at his limit. So, but the idea is you can deepen the stretch by having somebody start to raise the cane, okay? Now again, stay at the level you're at. Do not worry about trying to push for more faster when it comes to stretches. That's the way to injure yourself. Shake it out, relax, take a couple of nice deep breaths, and let's get ready for our training. So the block strike combination we're going to work on today is the outer forearm block with the leg strike. So we're going to come up and block and then hit to the leg. The outer forearm block has the forearm towards the bad guy. So you come up, block, and hit the leg. Okay, Bob will demonstrate. Okay, now hold on a second. One of the things that I'm sure you see Bob doing, and I'm sure you're doing at home, is the arm's coming up and it's almost like he's sort of waving like this. You want the elbow to be bent and you want it at about a 45-degree angle. Okay, if this is flat, this is 90, 45, okay? You want it at this angle, all right? So you come up, boom. All right, go ahead again, Bob. Okay, now one of the other things to note that I'm sure a lot of people are also doing is as they're turning, instead of just turning the shoulders through, they're pushing with the arms thinking they're turning the shoulder through. Whereas when the arm reaches here, it's the shoulders that turn at the same time as you're delivering the strike. It adds more power to your block and your strike simultaneously. Okay? So in the end, your body ends up at a 45, your arms at a 45, and you're striking the opponent's leg. Bob? Okay. Now, it is important to remember, in these cases, it is best to actually target an opponent's leg. All right, let's be realistic. If you take a stick higher, then you do run the risk of certain liability issues, okay? You run the risk of you becoming the one who's in trouble. So you take out their leg, they're not going to be able to chase you and follow you because they can't move. So now we're going to practice another block strike combination. This is the low block and you're hitting to the torso. Now I know just a moment ago I said about hitting to the leg. However, we have to own that there may be a time that we need to strike at the torso, okay? And particularly if you know that the arm's there, you're really aiming for their arm. A broken arm is a useless arm. Okay, so if they're attacking towards our chest, particularly our lower abdomen, okay, circle around, you block, and then you swing. Okay, so it's just block and swing, block and swing. And in the beginning, you can make the actions big hip rotations, block and swing, okay? Because the idea here is to train the body to be able to go in conjunction, boom, boom, right? And just practice. The idea again is you're going to break what you hit. You don't have to do a powerful, swing through to do that. Okay, this is a wooden stick. Okay, so block, strike, boom, boom. Okay, practice both sides. Spend, a few minutes just every day, just kind of even going through it slow. Okay, that's okay. Get the muscles familiar with it. Get the forearms ready to do it, okay? By practicing it on your own every day, you'll make it so it's more usable for you if you need to on the street. We're going to now work on our knees, okay? Knee strikes in particular. What we're going to do is use the cane for balance. You're going to bring your knee up, and for exercise sake, you're going to want to try and bring your knee as high as possible. Just boom, as high up as you can. Now, not everyone can go as high. That's fine. You just go to where you can reach. That's okay. You want to practice both sides. Start out maybe doing 10 each side, right? And then from there, increase the number. But now, I'd like to take a moment in today's episode and actually talk about the tactics. You see knees in movies, you see the knees in MMA fighting and Muay Thai fighting, okay? But when would you really use it? I mean, if Bob here is the bad guy and he's attacking me, yes, it's great, I'm in close, but if I try and bring my knee high, boom, well, then he can start to do something to counter it. He can catch it. If he's someone who wrestles or grapples, he can catch my knee and I'm on the ground, okay? Also, what if flexibility-wise, I can't come up that high, right? And what if he's got a strong stomach? What if I miss his groin? There's another location you can go for that he's going to have a hard time protecting, right? So I block, and instead of bringing my knee up, I just bring my knee into the side of his knee. So you see how, with no pressure, his knee is already starting to buckle, okay? And he's trying to hold on, because the idea is by coming into the side of the knee, boom, you're shifting his balance. You're popping his knee possibly, and the bad guy can't follow you. Or the other thing you could do is, again, if they attack, you come in and you come to the outside of the knee. And this you do see a lot in Muay Thai, but they come higher. They come to the nerve cluster right here. We're targeting the knee. As you can see, I'm not coming very high to hit him. Now, to show you, Bob's going to do the same thing to my knee. Okay, he's going to come and knee the side of my knee. Boom. His leg doesn't have to come very high to do it. Okay? Most people are able to lift at least one of their legs that high. And remember, you're using the cane for balance. And if necessary, you're using the other guy also for balance. Okay? So, those are some times that you would use the knee and how you would choose to use the knee. Keep yourself safe. Practice these moves, become familiar with them. Now I'm going to show you actually a way to take an opponent down. So we're not really even going to hit him. Alright? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the torso block, which if you remember is the one where we come up and block with both hands. So the bad guy throws a punch, you torso block, you're going to step your leg in behind his. You're going to bring the cane down with your leg behind him, and you're just going to pull him. And you see how Bob's folding, okay? It doesn't take a lot of strength to get somebody to be in this position, okay? So it's block, boom, step in, and down. And you can even, using your arm, resting on his shoulder, that becomes part of the pull down, okay? So you're pulling him, and you do it with speed and with intent, and use your hips. Doesn't matter how big they are, they're going to go down. Now let me show you how you can practice this at home without a training partner. Alright, so remember, we're going to basically go up and torso block, down, okay? So torso block, down. And right now you're seeing me over-exaggerate the leg, the stepping the leg out and bringing it in. All right, practice that over-exaggeration, because what happens is by training the hips to come out that way, you're going to have a nice snap to bring them down, okay? So torso block, down, okay? It's kind of like the old sumos where you see them, boom. Think of it that way. Block, down. One more time, block, down. You notice that last one, there was not a huge pause in between. Try and get to the point where you can just block and down. All right, practice both sides. So this combination we're going to go over today is going to be a reverse torso block, but we're going to do the reverse torso block with the crook up. In the past, when we did the reverse torso block, we had the crook down. But if the crook is up, that is still a reverse torso block. Now, the reason we're doing it with the crook up is because we're then going to follow up with a hammer fist, or basically driving the crook into the face of the bad guy. Okay, so the bad guy, say, swings the attack, reverse torso block, and then crook. Okay, now admittedly, I'm turning my head early because even slow, a piece of wood into the face is uncomfortable. But block, and then boom. Okay, now one of the things to keep in mind is, Bob, go ahead and go into the torso, reverse torso block, is a lot of people close their fingers. Okay, you don't want to do that. You want your thumb on the same side as your fingers. You want the hand open. It protects the fingers. Okay, boom. Now, when you do the hammer strike, you can do it two hands, which can be powerful, or just one hand. Either way, you're going to get the bad guy's attention. So now practicing it without a partner, go ahead and show them. Boom, boom. Now see, the hand closed. We don't want to do that. We want the hand open. Train yourself to keep that hand open on the reverse torso block. Go. Boom, and boom. Boom, boom. Now, I want you to quickly notice, do that again, Bob. Watch Bob's hips as he's doing this. Go ahead and do the strike. All right. I kind of threw him off. I've drawn his attention to, but he's doing a nice quick pop with the hips. He's throwing the hips first, and then the body, the shoulders are following. That is a way of generating what I call cheap power, which basically means that his arms aren't having to work too hard to make that power. That's really important to remember. It's more powerful to use your hips and legs to generate the power than just your arms. Practice both sides at home. We'd love to hear from you on Facebook, or email us or call us for feedback. We want to know what your thoughts are on how we can improve the show. And if you like the show, tell us what you like. We just love to hear from you. Thanks, and have a great day. Today's episode, we're going to focus on being grateful for the services we're given. So remember, let's keep in mind that what we say to ourselves influences the way we present ourselves to the world, and thus what we attract. Okay, so if we go through life and we take for granted the person who at Starbucks who gives us our coffee, or the person at the store who rings us up, and we don't show gratitude for those kinds of things, then what's going to happen is we're going to find that we have less opportunity to have those kind of services provided for us. Whether it's a waiter at the restaurant bringing us our food, or even the garbage collector who collects our garbage. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around and we're going to thank everybody. So when the waiter brings you your food at a restaurant, you genuinely thank them. When you get the coffee from the barista at the cafe, thank them. When someone rings you up, or they hold the door open even for you, say thank you. And take it beyond that. Take it to even at home. If your husband brings you a cup of coffee, or your wife makes you breakfast or cooks your dinner. If your child cleans up their room, even if you had to tell your child to do so, thank them for it so that they understand that it really meant something and that you appreciated it. And they'll be so much more likely to do it for you again in the future. Now, if the person's not available for you to thank in that immediate moment, like let's take the garbage collector, then what you do is you just say to yourself quietly, thank you, thank you, thank you. And just put that out there, because that's still programming your mind to be grateful. And the more you do that, the more you exude that gratitude and appreciation, the more people are going to want to help you and do things for you. Now, with regards to our episode, well, let's take a moment and let's be grateful for the services provided us by Create TV. There are a lot of people at Create TV that do a lot of things that help us to bring this show to you so that you can train at home. Be grateful and say thank you for them bringing you this opportunity. And also take a moment and say thank you to Christina and to Bob for all the help that they give in bringing us in the creation of these episodes so that you have the opportunity to work out at home. And take a moment and appreciate and say thank you for the cane. Because for some of you, the cane helps you to walk. For all of you, the cane is a tool now for exercise. And maybe, if at some point necessary, an implement that you can use to keep yourself safe. So take a moment and say thank you to all the people who put effort into making your cane. Thank you very much for tuning into our episodes. I am really grateful that you take the time out of your day to watch my show. Have a great day. I Cane Do!